Hi everyone, my name's Polly. Welcome to your practice. Today I have a Foundations Flow 3 for you. So it's a continuation of Foundations Flow 1 and 2 that you can also find on my YouTube channel. So this is a great class for beginners or anyone who wants to return to the basics. We'll move through several Sun Salutations as well as some poses that you'll find in pretty much any vinyasa flow class that you may take. So to get started, please have 2 blocks towards the front of your mat, and you may want a blanket to pad your knees. And we'll get started. Please come to all fours, otherwise known as tabletop, and check out your hand foundation. Fingers are spread wide and even, and shoulders, elbows, and wrists are stacked for stability, and knees are directly below your hips. We'll move through a few rounds of cow-cat. So take a full breath in and full breath out. Inhale, arch the back, look up for cow pose. And then exhale, press into your hands, round into the upper back, draw navel to spine, cat pose. Inhale, look up, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, cow pose. And exhale, round in for cat. 2 more, moving breath to motion. Inhale, cow, and exhale to cat. Last one. Take your knees now as wide as the mat, big toes touch. For child's pose, shift the hips back. Now, if your hips are tight, and you may pause here on your forearms or bring a block under your arms. If you can continue moving and the knees and hips are okay with it, slide the hips all the way down to the heels and extend the arms out in front. So child's pose is always one you can return to throughout the practice. Please listen to your body. No need to go to any extremes here. It's a practice of patience and listening and the capacity to learn and grow. So with that, come on up. Place the hands about shoulder width distance, tuck the toes, and press back to downward facing dogs. Dogs. Probably just one downward facing dog. Walk the hands out in front of you so you have a real nice extended downward facing dog. Keep a slight bend in the knees. And from your hands, tone the arms. Tone them all the way up into the heart. And then from the heart, extend the torso through the sitting bones, lift them up. And keeping that lift from your pelvis, begin to straighten one leg and then the other and expand into the pose. Press from your heart out into your hands. And then from your heart, again, lift up through the hips and press down through the feet. Full round of Ujjayi breath here. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Nice. On your next inhale, step the right foot all the way to the right thumb. You can help it out if it doesn't get all the way there. And lower lightly to the left knee. Option to bring the blanket under the left knee if there's some sensitivity or if you're on a hardwood floor like me. Allow the hips to shift forward. And on an inhale, reach the arms high for Anjaneyasana. Enjoy the stretch through the left front of the hip flexor muscles. And then exhale, lower hands to the mat and grab your blocks. Shift the hips over the left knee and straighten the right leg. Flex the right toes. Hands are below your shoulders. And remember, there's 3 heights to the blocks: low, medium, and high. So choose what works for you today. Energetically draw the right heel back. So it's an isometric drag. You're not actually moving it. Inhale, get tall through the crown of your head, and then keeping that length in the spine, hinge forward at the hips. So as soon as you start to round in, you back off. So it's called runner's stretch. It's a hamstring stretch to help prepare you for the practice. If you're hinged forward on an inhale, press into the hands to come upright. And then exhale back to your low lunge. Set the blocks, place the hands, and step back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your left foot between your hands and lightly lower the right knee down. Having problems today. Inhale, sweep the hands high for Anjaneyasana. Pause for a round of breath and allow the pelvis to shift forward just as much as it feels okay in your body. And then exhale, release the hands, grab the blocks, shift the hips over the right knee, flex the left toes. Inhale, get tall, and then exhale and hinge forward as you draw the left heel back. Nice. Inhale, come back forward, place the blocks, place the hands, step back, high plank this time, and lower to your knees. Bend the elbows, aim the chest for the thumbs, and then slither forward all the way to your belly. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet press into the mat. And I like to take my feet as wide as the mat for Cobra. Hands are in place by your outer ribs. Inhale, roll the shoulders up, lift up, Cobra pose. Exhale, forehead down. Inhale, press to all fours, tuck the toes, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana in Sanskrit. On your next inhale, look to the front of the mat, and exhale, step or lunge forward to come to standing forward bend at the front of your mat. Soft bend in the knees here. You're up on your fingertips for some buoyancy, and that might mean bringing the blocks underneath to bring the mat to you. Find a halfway lift, look forward, and then exhale and fold in. Inhale, halfway lift again. Exhale and fold. Bring hands to hips, bend the knees, elbows to the sky, and with a more or less flat back, rise to standing. Sweep the hands up, look up to the thumbs, and exhale, palms to heart. Release arms by your side, mountain pose. Foot foundation is key here, so feet are directly below the hips, and you're rooting all four corners of the feet into the mat. Sun Salutation A. Inhale, sweep the arms high, look up, and exhale to fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward, and then exhale, step one foot back, and then the other, so you come to high plank. Lower to your knees for Chaturanga Dandasana. Shift the weight, or the shoulders rather, over your wrists, and bend the elbows so they stay pretty close to your sides. Keep looking forward, core is engaged. All the way to the mat, untuck the toes, inhale, Cobra, well done. And then exhale, press to all fours, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of Ujjayi breath here. Press hands and feet away from each other to expand and extend into the pose. Soft bend in the knees can help free the lower back and open the hamstrings. On your next inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, bend the knees, and either step forward or walk one foot and then the other to come to forward bend at the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, slide hands to shins. And exhale to fold in. Up on your fingertips. Hands to hips, slight bend in the knees, rise up with a flat back. Reach hands high, look up to the thumbs, and exhale, palms to heart center. Really nice. Moving on to Sun Salutation B. Starts in chair pose. So feet are hip width distance. Bend the knees so much so that you can measure fingertips to the mat. And send your weight back into the heels so the tops of the thighs move back. Sweep the hands high, reach them up, lift through the sternum of the chest. So you're sitting back in your chair, weights in the heels, and you can test that by trying to lift all 10 of your toes up. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, straighten the legs to fold forward, forward bend. Inhale, slide hands to shins, halfway lift. And then plant the hands and step one foot and then the other to your high plank pose. Look forward in your high plank. Draw the navel up towards the spine to engage the core. Now, option to stay up off the mat or lower knees down. Okay, for Chaturanga Dandasana, remember you want shoulders over wrists, gazes forward, core engaged. Here we go. Lower down, elbows by the rib cage. Shoulders don't go past elbows. And then just hit the deck. Untuck the toes. Good job. Inhale to Cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, step your right foot to your thumb. Help it out if you need. And lower the left foot at a 45-degree angle. So it's a heel to heel alignment. Feet are more or less hip width distance. From here, climb the hands to the thigh and stretch the arms up for warrior one. Right knee bends to a square, left leg is straight. Look forward, inhale, and then exhale, hands touch down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale and step the left foot forward, right heel dials down. Set up the foundation of the feet, hip width or wider, and bring hands to the left thigh, and then reach them up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, high plank. Decide if your knees will stay up or if you're lower to the mat for Chaturanga Dandasana, lower down. Untuck the toes, peel the chest up for Cobra, and then exhale, press to downward facing dog. Pause here for a round of breath. Inhale, look to the thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees and walk or step up. Inhale, slide hands to shins for a halfway lift or Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, forward bend. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Bend the knees now for chair pose. Sit back, sweep the arms up. And exhale, straighten the legs, bring palms to heart. Well done. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale to fold. Here we go again. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale and step it back, downward facing dog. Now that we're warmed up, you can skip the vinyasa. Vinyasa meaning high plank, chaturanga, cobra, and then down dog. So you can do that or you can skip it and just hang out here in downward facing dog. For our next standing pose, we'll move to warrior 2. On an inhale, look between the thumbs and step the right foot forward. Once again, help it out to get there if you need. And then lower the left foot so it's parallel with the back edge of the mat. Hands to right thigh, open up, warrior 2. Look over your right fingers, bend the right knee to a square, left leg is straight. And then cartwheel, hands to the mat, and step back, downward facing dog. Second side, step the left foot forward, right foot lowers. Hands to left thigh, open up, arms to a T, look out over the left fingers. Notice if you're reaching forward and shift the shoulders back so they're stacked over the hips. Soften in the shoulders. And then swim the arms down to the mat. Step back, high plank, down dog, or vinyasa. Chaturanga Dandasana, Cobra pose to downward facing dog. No rush. Next pose, extended side angle. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step the right foot to the right thumb. Back heel lowers, just like warrior two. This time, bring your right forearm to your thigh, left hand to hip. With your left hand, kind of help your left thigh to stay back, top of the left thigh back. And then against that resistance, turn the right bum under, turn the belly and chest up to the left. Extend the left arm so the left biceps by your ear. So this is Parshva Konasana. Sometimes we just say back it. Now you can keep the right forearm to the right thigh, or if you're feeling open, you can take the right fingertips to the mat or a block, and they go to the outside of the right foot. From the belly, press down into the feet, and then from the belly, extend through the core lines. Really nice. Press into the feet, nothing changes in the legs. Come back up, warrior two. Look over the right fingers, and come on down to the mat. Well done. Downward facing dog. Let's do that on the second side. Inhale, step the left foot forward, turn the right heel down. Left forearm to the left thigh, right hand to right hip. Keep the tops of the thighs moving back. And then turn the left bum under as the belly and chest turn up to the right. Right hand sweeps overhead. Option to try lowering the left fingertips to your mat, or you bring a block in. Left knee stays bent, right leg straight. Gaze can be down at the mat or up at the top hand. Get super steady, toned in the legs. And on an inhale, rise up to warrior two. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step back, high plank, vinyasa, or straight to downward facing dog. Inhales, cobra pose. And exhale to down dog. Nicely done. Inhale, look to the hands. Exhale, bend the knees. Step one foot and then the other. Halfway lift and forward fold. Hands to hips, bend the knees, rise up with a flat back. Hands reach to the sky, and exhale, palms to heart. Step one foot out now, and turn the feet. Toes are slightly inward. The outer edges of the feet are parallel with the sides of the mat. Take hands to hips, and send the tops of the thighs back. So it's kind of like chair pose. Yeah. We're moving to a wide-legged forward fold. And actually, blocks can work great here too. So we'll have them ready for us out in front. So tops of the thighs back, chest moves forward. And you'll bring your hands to your blocks. Test out the high level, the medium level, and the low level. So as you notice, hands are directly below our shoulders for now. So it's like a halfway lift. Nice. And then as you get to be have more opening in your hamstrings, you can fold in a bit deeper. It's a type of a standing forward bend, wide-legged forward bend, otherwise known as Vashistasana. Inhale back to halfway lift. Shift the blocks or the hands back below your shoulders. We're going to take the left hand directly below your nose, right hand to right hip. Turn from the belly and chest up to the right, and sweep the right hand high for a twist. And then exhale, release the right hand down directly below your nose. It might be on a block or the floor. Left hand to your hip. Turn the belly and chest up to the left this time, and sweep the left hand high. The hips shift slightly over to the left, that's fine. The right hip can come with you in the twist. Let's do that again. Lower the left hand down, right hand to hip, and then avoid twisting from the head and neck. Rather, initiate the twist from the torso, and then, like an afterthought, reach the right hand high and look up. Exhale, right hand to your block or the mat, left hand to hip, twist open to the left, and then float the left arm. Exhale, release, really nice. And then shift back to the front of the mat. Where are we going from here? Sit back, downward facing dog. All right, side plank, a little arm balance here. Step the right foot halfway up your mat and turn the right toes out like they're facing 3 o'clock on the face of a clock. From here, turn onto the left hand, outer left foot. And notice that the left hand is slightly in front of the left shoulder. That's important in order to integrate the head of the arm bone into the shoulder joint. So turn onto the left hand outside of the left foot, right hand to your right hip. Lift the hips, float the right arm high. Side plank, stage 1. Vashistasana, stage 1. Nice, get out of there. Downward facing dog. So arm balances take a lot out of you. They're obviously great for strengthening the arms and shoulders and upper back, and they're challenging. Step the left foot forward now and turn the left toes out. Turn onto the right hand, outer right foot. Make sure the right hand isn't stacked like right below you, rather it's out in front, and then sink into the right shoulder joint. Left hand to left hip. Press the hips up, yep, for stability, and reach the left hand. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift forward to high plank, lower to knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra pose, and exhale to downward facing dog. Let's take that side plank one step further, if you'd like. There's a stop along the way. So once again, step the right foot halfway up your mat and turn the right toes out to 3 o'clock, more or less. Left hand, left foot. Notice if you need to take the left hand out in front slightly and turn open to the right. Now you're here, you're in stage 1. If you want to take it to the next step, you join the right foot on top of left, lift the hips, float the right arm high. Balancing on the left hand, outer left foot. Nice. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Woo, that's tiring. Second side, left foot steps forward, turns out to more or less 9 o'clock. Right hand, right foot are your foundation. Left hand to hip. Pause here in stage 1. Maybe this is your pose today. Or you try joining the left foot on top of the right, floating the left hand high. Notice if the hips are sinking. Draw the hips and the outer right rib cage up. Vashistasana, stage 2. And then exhale and release. For a counter pose, step the right knee towards the right wrist and aim it out to the right, like kind of at an angle. For Pigeon Prep, left toes stay tucked under. You come up onto your fingertips. If there's any discomfort in the right knee, please bring blocks over below the shoulders and press the hands into the blocks. So you get a nice stretch in the outer right hip muscles here, in the glute, and maybe even into the front of the left hip. Pigeon pose. And then place the blocks. With the left toes tucked under, lift up, slide the right leg out from underneath you. You might need to give it a little shake, get the blood circulating again. Back to downward facing dog. Left side, left knee aims for the inner left wrist. and it angles off like almost to like that left corner of your mat, front of your mat. Come up onto the blocks or fingertips. So you're either on your fingertips or up on the blocks. And then place the blocks once again. Place the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Step halfway up your mat now. Come on down seated. Setting up for a seated twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Bend the right knee into your chest and cross it over the left leg. The left leg just hangs out straight, or you may bend the left knee so the left foot's the heel is to the outer right hip. Right hand comes behind, up on your fingers. Left hand reaches high. And I like to lean back here and exhale into the twist. Once again, the twist initiates from the torso and not the head and neck. Once you are in that little twist, then the head can swivel to the right. Take your gaze out over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, and we'll just go right into the other side. Left knee bends to the chest. Cross it over the right leg. Right leg stays straight or bends in, heel towards the outer left hip. Left hand comes behind this time. Stay up on your fingers. Right hand up, lean back, and exhale for the twist. So maybe your elbow lands on your knee, or you can kind of wedge into the outer left leg. Turn the right rib cage towards the back of the mat, and take the gaze out over the left shoulder. Really nice. Inhale back to center. Untwist the legs. Shift forward on your mat so you space to lie down. And more or less with a flat back, come to lying and draw knees into your chest. Separate the knees as wide as your shoulders. Keep the big toes more or less towards each other. Aim the sitting bones towards the mat. And then draw the knees in towards your armpits for a supine child's pose. Remember, we did this earlier in the practice, but lying down. And then for our final pose, straighten one leg and then the other. Arms relax by your sides, palms face up. Allow the heels to come out to the edges of the mat and toes flop out to the sides. Draw an inhale from the toes all the way up the legs, torso, crown of your head. And then on an exhale, just let it go. Allow the shoulders to relax into the mat, gravity to take over. For our final pose, Shavasana. Stay here as long as you'd like. If you are ready to move on with your day, begin to wiggle toes and fingers, circle ankles and wrists. And to come up safely, draw one knee and then the other in towards the chest and roll to one side. Use your hands to press to seated. Pause for a moment, hands to knees or palms to heart center. Lower chin towards the chest, honoring the privilege that we have to carve out this time, to take time for our practice, to take time for ourselves. So in return, we can serve others in our community like we want to. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to practice with you again soon.